later on in the half hour. Mark, Ramona?
All right, Jeff, thanks. Joining us now at 4 here in studio, Dr. Jason Johnson.
Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
5 states up for grabs tonight, this Super Tuesday. I think Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both are expected to take all 5 states. Any reason to believe that won't happen?
None at all. This is pretty much a done deal. Tonight is completely set. It's a waste of time for either of those candidates. I mean, to be perfectly honest, Kasich, Cruz, they're not going to win any of these states. Bernie isn't going to win any of these states. They're really looking forward.
So this is not a Super Tuesday by any stretch?
No.
Okay. We've heard earlier on, Senator Sanders, he was kind of asked, but he stopped a little bit short of saying he would officially support, Hillary Clinton. But he wants to make sure that no Republican ends up in there, even if he doesn't get the nomination. What can we take from that?
Well, he's being realistic. I mean, look, Bernie Sanders has very, very loyal supporters. He's not going to hang them out in the wind. He's going to keep competing, but there's a point at which, I mean, he may drag this out to California, he may drag this out to June, but he's not going to catch up with Hillary Clinton. Even with superdelegates, he can't catch up to her. And so he's being honest about that now.
Now, because we're in Ohio, a lot of people want to know about Governor Kasich. Were you surprised to hear him say that he's looking at potential VP candidates? What does he know that the rest of us don't?
Clearly some math that I wasn't familiar with, because he doesn't have much of a chance of actually winning. I think the bigger issue, Ramona, really is this whole idea of Kasich and Cruz working together for this sort of Stop Trump thing in Nebraska and Oregon and Indiana. I don't think it's a good idea. It plays into Donald Trump's narrative that basically the establishment Republicans are trying to cheat him out of his position. And I don't think it's a good look for Kasich or for Ted Cruz.
Is there any reality, speaking of, to some of those, some of the polls that showed that Kasich theoretically could beat Hillary Clinton in a general election? Is there anything to that?
Definitely. Look, John Kasich could beat Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders in a general election, but that's not how the process works.
Right.
You have to win the primary.
Yeah.
I am sure that there are, look, under any circumstance, there are lots of candidates who could beat Hillary Clinton, but they've got to get through a primary. And being a good primary candidate and being a good general election candidate are two different things.
Now, Jason, I was watching House Speaker Paul Ryan on CBS Morning News this morning, and I was surprised to hear him say that the establishment doesn't care who the nominee is, that the establishment is just going to be concentrating right now on setting the Republican agenda. But doesn't the nominee set the Republican agenda?
And thus the problem. because look, I've told you all, I've sat in these meetings in Washington, D.C. There is still this ego battle going back and forth between Paul Ryan and Reince Priebus. Can we work with Donald Trump? What's his agenda versus our agenda? I still don't think they figured it out. They may never figure it out. And that's going to be really difficult come July when they've got a convention that they have to put on together.
It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
The angriest family dinner ever. That's
right, exactly. Well, hopefully we'll be around for that. Anyway, Dr. Jason Johnson, thanks again for taking the time.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.